Hello and welcome to the Perth Gaming Crew Show. My name is Jonathan. Welcome to not too freezing day in Perth. Not sure how it is over there in Canberra, Johnny. Johnny, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Very excited to have our first guest of 2024 on the show today. Welcome, Ludley.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate you being here.
And Ludley, welcome to you too. As Johnny mentioned, we're back taking guests again. So Ludley reached out. He was interested in the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you on. Lovely to meet you earlier. And we can see already that you are a fan of the Amiibo. So what a wicked wall you've got back there. How are you feeling today, Ludley?
Yeah, I'm feeling well. Feeling pretty good. Winter is always my favorite weather anyway, so...
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that? You just like being indoor, get a bit of extra gaming in type thing, or...?
Yeah, it's excuse to not go out, you know? Like, it's always
so true.
Just stay under your blanket game. It's like, oh my God, I cannot go outside. I'm so sorry. I'm so sad.
Yeah, what am I going to do for the next 3 hours? Oh, what's this in my hand? A controller. How did that happen?
Exactly.
I make the most of my time. Well, yeah, absolute pleasure to have you on the show today, Ludley. So for the people of Perth and beyond, we have had demand after demand, as we do. People want to know what we are playing. It's been a while. We've been talking about the Nintendo showcases. We've been doing specials about the Ninja Turtles. Johnny, we've covered a bit of content left, right, and center, but it's time just to talk about what we've been playing this year. So I've put together a list. We're all going to talk about 3 games each. It's kind of an interesting and eclectic list, quite surprising. So before we get to that, though, a question for our guest. Ludley, we do always ask our guests, what is your favorite game of all time and why?
That question during the weekend, this is a really hard question because especially for me that I keep playing games for over 20 years now or more, you know? You keep thinking oh, what's my favorite one? But there's one that is always in my mind. There's the Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger for the... Was it on the Super Nintendo? Which console did you play it on?
No. I played this one on DS. And I'm very happy that I played this game only now because I was thinking about this. A while ago, I was like, oh, I wish I had played this before, but before I didn't know English, and now I know, and I played this on DS with full knowledge of English, and this game is amazing. And the funny thing is, I don't like time travel, but this game does so well. It's so well written, it's so fun, it's so nice that it's just amazing. It's just amazing. And DS compared to the Super Nintendo, you have a couple more, they enhance the graphics. Every time that you play, you can actually use the touch screen, but it is a nice way they did with the touch screen that on Chrono Trigger, it depends on the characters they're using, you can have special attacks that combine, you know? So instead of try going a list like you used to do in the Super Nintendo, you just click it. So it's much more dynamic, and the game itself is dynamic, is because it's an action RPG that used to be an action RPG on the Super Nintendo. Something that is not very common, you know? It is good. It is really good. It's really good. I recommend to everybody. I keep telling my friends, hey, you want to play? I have a couple of DSs here. Just pick it up and play.
Just play with me. Just play. Come on, I got to show you this game. That's so good. Yeah, well, I mean, the people who've been following us for a while now know that Pat, who started this show with me last year, this is also his favorite game of all time, and it is beloved by fans across the world. I haven't played it myself. I played games like Legend of Mana, Secret of Evermore, a couple of those games on the SNES. I have to get to it, though. Is it worth playing these days, Ludley? Is it something you can pick up now?
No, yeah, 100%. 100%. If you can get a hand on a copy for the DS, just play it. Just play it. They have for cell phone as well. They have for Steam, but I would say play on the DS. It's most of the people who play will say that this is the definitive edition. You should play there. It's really good. There's no way that you're gonna play this game. If you like RPG, there is no way you're gonna play this game. So oh, this sucks. No, it is good. It is really good. I can't recommend enough this game.
Oh, nice. Excellent. And who knows, maybe one day when the Switch 2 gets released, they might release some remake with the Chrono Trigger amiibo. Who knows? Let's dream on. Get excited. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So that's awesome. No, look, that's really good to hear, Ludley. So we are on to our big topic of today. We're going to start with Johnny over there in the corner. Johnny's been playing the most recent of all the releases that we've got on our list today. Johnny, do you want to tell us a little bit about Luigi's Mansion 2 HD and why you're playing it? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I've been getting into the first couple of levels so far of the remaster of Luigi's Mansion 2, also known as Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which released on the 3DS about a decade ago, actually, just over a decade ago. And I've been having a lot of fun with this remaster. It is the very crisp visuals, especially in comparison to the 3DS version. Really vibrant color. Definitely an upgrade on the 3DS version. Look, this could be in my imagination a little bit, but as I've been playing through on the Switch version, it does feel like the controls are a little bit tighter, especially when you're in the middle of a hectic ghost vacuuming battle. So we've talked about the Luigi's Mansion series on the show before, so people will be familiar with the premise, which is Mario's younger brother goes off to a haunted mansion, somewhat reluctantly, let's say, and encounters multiple kind of ghosts, and that's like a consistent theme right through all three games. And so, yeah, this version's been quite a pleasant surprise. It's only just come out a couple of weeks ago, and I'm enjoying it. And I think I'll definitely play through the rest of the game. And I do like the attention to detail, and I can't quite remember if this was included in the 3DS version, but there's things like if Luigi's not conducting a particular action, he'll start humming the Luigi's Mansion theme, which is kind of a nice touch.
Yeah.
Little touches
Cool.
like that. And some of them I can't quite remember if they were in the original game or in this one. But no, it's been fun. I'm not regretting picking it up, that's for sure.
No, that's sweet. So like I was pretty interested in Luigi's Mansion 3, and I remember when Luigi's Mansion 3 came to the Switch, it was a bit of a big hit. People have been looking for a sequel for a while. And then when this got announced, people were like, oh, it's at the back end of the Switch's life. You know, they're just bringing out their back catalogue. It's HD, but nothing special. It sounds like you think it's still worth playing, though, Johnny. Like, it's definitely worth a pick and enjoyable today still.
Yeah, and I played the 3DS version, so I've still found it to be worthwhile to play. It's a much more pleasant. It's a much more. There's the quality of life playing it on a big screen as opposed to a handheld. It's definitely worthwhile, I think. Yeah.
Cool. And like compared to the third one, like is there anything that stands out about the second one? Like because often games are an iteration and then people are like, well, I've played the third, it's already better graphics, better gameplay, why go back to the second? What do you think?
Look, I'm probably a bit unique in that regard because I haven't actually played the third yet. I only and I haven't got
perfect
onto
then.
I haven't got my gaming OCD sometimes gets a bit much, and like I only just finished playing.
Sound like a true gamer.
Only it was like a year or two ago that I finished the original Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube, which and so kind of I just moved on to 2 a little while ago. But from all what I sort of have looked into this a bit, and I do think if you've already played 3, this might not be as interesting because I think 3 introduced a lot of other mechanics and things like that. So it's probably a simpler game in comparison to 3 because it is essentially it's a port of the 3DS game. But yeah, no, yeah, you probably get more out of 3 if you were looking for a more expansive kind of experience.
Yeah, and I think 3's got that multiplayer. Ludley, what do you think?
Yeah, I played it 3. Actually, I finished the third one a couple of months ago. But this is a game that I'm playing for the last 2 years, 3 years. I play and stop until my kids decide, hey, Dad, do you want to play with us? It's like, yes. Then we went like from the first, like the beginning to the end, like in a couple of weeks. I like the third one because you actually can play. You don't need to play alone. You can play with somebody else. Like somebody else can pick up the Luigi.
Yeah, Luigi two player. You can get Luigi and then someone's Luigi. Is that right? Like
yeah, and it's amazing. It's pretty good because like you can do it by yourself, but if you have another person to play that game, it's much better. It's much better because you can do like the things like the game is made in a way that like you can control both of them by yourself. So you just pause one character and go on the other. But if you have another person, you don't have to do this. You just like release Luigi, and like both of them can do both same like so you can fight the same boss at the same time and everything. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I was looking for the second one, but I don't know if the second one can be played with two people. And I like co-op games, So yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at this actually because I was curious if it had a multiplayer mode. It does, but they've done one of the kind of frustrating Nintendo things where you can play multiplayer, but you need multiple switches and multiple copies of the game. A bit like Animal Crossing, games like that, where they've done that sort of frustrating Nintendo thing where that you kind of need to double up. And I'm not sure that people would. Unless if you're really, really into the Luigi's Mansion series, maybe it'd be worthwhile for that. But I think it's you primarily consider this a single player experience. Yeah. This entry in the series, yeah.
Maybe like more for the hardcore fans. That's awesome.
I think you've got to be a really big fan of the Luigi's Mansion series to get multiple copies of the game and have a second Switch to allow for the multiplayer element. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
This reminds me on the. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Ludley.
No, go ahead, Ludley.
No. This reminds me on the Game Cup that you could have like 4 Game Boy Advance with the copy of Zelda to play. And actually, I saw one guy doing this recently. But instead of having like 4 DS, 4 Game Boy Advance, he bought 5 Game Cubs and used the game link with the Game Boy player to have all of them with like 5 monitors. And it's like, cool, this guy's hardcore.
That is hardcore. That is determined. So good. Oh, no, that's cool. Sounds like a good recommendation, Johnny. A good game to play. Ludley, the first one we have for you is called The Forgotten City. I've not played this before. Can you tell the people of Perth and beyond what this game is and why you're playing it?
That's funny. I don't know why I decided to play this game. I remember that I bought a copy of this game for the PlayStation 5. And actually, I got a new monitor for my computer. And I was like, cool, I need to play a little bit more on the computer. Then I saw Forgotten City on the Steam. I was like, let me give it a chance on this game. And it's nice. The game used to be a mod of Skyrim. They say is a very recommended mod for the Skyrim. That this is Australian made game, and they made this game. So the game is pretty much like you're a time traveler that ended up in a small city in Rome, like 2000 years ago, and you cannot leave the city. Like nobody can leave the city, and if anybody in the game commit a sin, everybody dies. Be very careful what you're gonna do. Like you cannot just go in somebody's house and like, hey, look, coins, like Link, No, that's a sin. Everybody gonna die. Don't do it.
Break all the pots. Break all the pots and take all the stuff.
Oh yeah, no. Like you cannot steal anything. Like you cannot kill anyone. Like you need to behave. You need to be like a good player, actually. So the game is really good. The story is really good. It's a very story-driven game. Like it's there is some actions, but most of the action in this game can be avoided. And it's funny because there is a part in the game that there is a quest that you're gonna do, and the game itself asks, do you want to do this? This has horror elements and action. And I'm like, really? Can I not do this? Like I did. Like as much as I don't like horror games, But I did, and it's like it's fun. It's fun. It's pretty good. And funny enough, like another day I was about to go work, and I managed to finish do the end of the game, and then I realized that and 2 of 4. I was like, whoa, there's 4 endings here. So yes, I ended up yesterday night playing this until 3 o'clock in the morning just to get all the 4 endings.
Wow! Oh my god, that's hardcore.
And I think like I ended up like finishing the game around like 2 o'clock. But after you finish, you can go talk to people and everything. And took me 1 more hour to discover everything that happens after my last action. It is good. It is good. I can recommend it. And like if you don't have much time, you have like anybody over 30 anyways, you know, it's a short game. It's a short game, so it's gonna be like between 6 to 10 hours, depends on how you play the game. So it doesn't take long, you know, like, and you can play in bursts, the short bursts, and do a lot of things because the quest of the game is pretty short. So it's nice. I pretty enjoy it.
That's awesome. It looks like I can see the Skyrim mod in the facial animations. I'm like, oh, that reminds me of the old like Skyrim in that sense. But is this a puzzle game or an adventure game? Because it looks like it's more of a mystery puzzle type game. Is that what it is?
It's a mystery puzzle. Yes, it's a mystery puzzle.
Okay.
So
okay.
you get there, you don't know anything that's happening, and like you need to start putting things together.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Johnny, what did you think about how this game looks? Is this something that'd be up your alley? I know you're a bit of an ancient history buff.
It looks cool. Look, you know, always thinking about the Roman Empire. Yeah.
Always thinking about it, just in the back of your mind.
It's always just in the back of the mind. It's always a little bit, not too far off, as you'll discover shortly.
Okay. Any grand plans there, Johnny?
No, that looks good and it's cool. Good to support an Aussie developer too. That sounds awesome. Yeah. Check this out. What are you playing this on PC, Ludley, or is it another platform or?
No, I'm playing the PC. I have a copy for the PS5 because I remember it was really cheap on the AB Games. I think it was like $10.
Wow.
But I never had a chance to play the PS5, and I saw this on my Steam. I was like, yeah, no, let me make it worth this monitor that I got. So
nice.
Absolutely.
Great pick.
That's so cool. Yeah, nice. I'd only heard a little bit about this game, and I love it when there are games out there that someone's playing and you're like, oh, I've heard a bit about that. And then like you've gone and played it and you can recommend it. I love that it's 6 to 10 hours too, like just bite size. You can go play it and get through it. Those kind of games are great. So my pick, I know you're not into horror, sorry, Ludley, but I just can't help myself. My pick is probably the most horror game of all that's come out in recent memory. So Diablo 4, I've been wanting to get into it since it released last year. I've played Diablo 1, Diablo 2, Diablo 3, all of them except for the mobile version of the game. I'm not a mega fan, but I really like the lore and I like the aesthetics of the Diablo games. There are a lot of people who play the Diablo games because they love the multiplayer or they love the shiny things and, you know, just like min-maxing your character so that you've got ultimate statistics. And then the end game. That's not me at all. I'm here for the story. I'm here for the lore. I'm here for the shiny lightning bolts that my druid can rain down on my enemies and watch them explode in the pits of blood. I'm here to feel like there's, you know, I'm saving the world, knowing that the world is a pretty horrible place in Diablo. So look, I mean, if you've played Diablo before, you know what kind of game this is. In my view, it's just really like a bigger and better version of like the Diablo series. Like it looks fantastic. I'm playing this on Xbox Series X. Looks gorgeous. Hasn't had a frame rate or technical hitch at all. It's open world this time, and I think like I'm not into open world games myself. I don't have that much time. I've got 2 very young children that I've mentioned on the podcast before. So I play this in small little bite sizes where I do 20 minutes at a time. Get from point A to point B, cast a couple of storms, turn into a giant bear, kill some monsters, save some people, and then find out some other people haven't been saved, and I'll live with it. That's fine. But look, it's a really good time. It is. I think the thing is with Diablo games is they are very much gamified, so it's very easy to get into the whole clickbait, constant clicking, and just play for hours on end. But for me, I just sat back, enjoyed the story. I'm doing a bit of time. I'm up to Act 3. I like where it's going. It's quite interesting. How about you guys? Ludley, I'll start. Oh, Johnny, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask you a question, John. Is it enjoyable playing it in those small bites? Like, because I imagine with 2 young kids in the house, you're going to be interrupted, so that you probably have to plan your sessions quite meticulously to work around.
I know. What I quite like to do is I like to read to my daughter at night. Spot goes to whatever, and then I'll have Diablo in the background. I'm just like, don't look. Don't worry about it. It's all good. They're not corpses. It's all pretend. No, not quite.
It's a seamless transition from Spot to Diablo.
Exactly.
You don't have any tonal whiplash at all, I'm sure.
That's right. It's like, what is going on here? Can I deal with this emotionally? It's pretty intense. No, it is definitely like a late night play on your own kind of game. It's very like horrific because that's how the Diablo games are, but it, in answer to your question, Johnny, for me, I think the Diablo games fight against that. They make you feel like you have to keep playing for hours and hours and hours. But for me, I've been around long enough to be like, games are for us. I can have a short objective, set 20 minutes, achieve that, and get like my fill of Diablo blood out of that, and I'm happy. Yeah. Ludley, have you into the Diablo series? You got your eye on this one?
Okay. Yeah. I always want to play. I never play because I used to be a console gamer when I was a kid. So my computer was a crap, and I couldn't play anything on my computer. And I used to see my friends playing Diablo 2. I was like, I wish I could play this game. I tried Diablo 3. But as much as I don't like horror games, I like dark aesthetics. And I used to like the Diablo 2 when I see my friends play because it was dark. And then Diablo 3, I was like, way too colorful. I was like, nah, this is just World of Warcraft, Like on the teams and everything. I was like, but now Diablo 4, I need to play this one. I 100%. I think I had download on everything that I could download. Didn't play yet. I think I'm going to have to catch up this and play with you one day because we can play co-op on this one, right?
We can. It is good co-op. Actually, you can play couch co-op on this, which is pretty rare for a lot of games these days. So that's actually kind of handy. I will say, if you're not a massive horror fan, though, just like close your eyes for 99% of the game because it's just corpses exploding and people being tortured. And, you go to save someone and they die and you're like, of course they died. Like, it doesn't really matter what happens,
Dark themes for me is fine. I like it. Actually, I like it. I'm excited to play that the next Doom Dark Ages.
Oh yeah, Doom Eternal. Doom the Dark Ages. Yeah. Yes.
I don't like jump scary. I don't like say you go play Resident Evil, then you look to the side and something jump on you. Like,
yeah, totally get it. Yeah. All right, so on to our next one. Johnny, this was quite an interesting pick. I'd not heard of this game before, and you've broken a record here because this is our very first mobile game that we've ever talked about on the show. I like to believe that mobile games don't exist. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry, Perth viewers. Perth viewers from Perth and beyond are talking about a dirty mobile game, but I had to mention it because I recently made the mistake of re-downloading it. So this game is very addictive. It's basically a Pokemon Go clone, but instead of going around capturing Pokemons, you're darting dinosaurs that are loose on the streets. That's the premise. And you're collecting their DNA so that you can go back to your cloning facility, and it's quite ridiculous actually because you're using a coin-operated cloning tank to create your army of dinosaurs that you can send into battle. So it's very much Pokemon Go with a Jurassic World skin. It first released around the time of the second Jurassic World movie. And I was a big Jurassic Park fan from back in the 90s. And I said, what the hell? And it was a big mistake because it's very addictive game, and it's a game that I tend to I have to take it off all my devices when I'm not, like, if I'm not on annual leave, I'm at work, because it's just too distracting and addictive. But I have sunk quite a few hours into the into collecting, like it's like a collectathon, collecting all the different dino types, and then it gets worse because then you spend a lot of time fusing and creating all these weird different hybrids and stuff like that.
Very Pokemon, very Monster Hunter.
Yeah, it's very much it's literally Pokemon Go with a dino skin. It's got a turn-based battle system, which is all about kind of getting familiarity with all the different attack types and knowing how to sort of buff them and that kind of how to counter them and that kind of thing. So that's the key to kind of success in sort of online PvP battles. Incredibly frustrating, of course, because every time the game is updated, they sort of nerf whichever dino hybrid type was the kind of the meta, and it becomes something else. So over the weekend, the other weekend, I re-downloaded it after a lengthy period of time, and I found out everything's changed, and I'm just being demolished in the battles. I will warn people, it's shoving kind of pay to win very much in your face. It is a mobile game. That's how they're trying to make their money, because it's free. Obviously, the base game is free, but it is constantly shoving pay to win kind of stuff in your face, like pay this amount to get this dino tank, and or to like max up your in-game currency. So you got a couple of in-game currencies. You've got what are called bucks, which is what you use to open incubator pods, which get you your dinos, and then you've got coins, which operate as I said, coin operated DNA cloning tanks, which is a ridiculous concept. Yeah, and so it's very much trying to encourage you to go spend real money. So it's play this at your own risk is what I would say. And it's one that I'm always taking off my devices pretty frequently, as often as I'm re-downloading them, because it's just it is very much in your face in that capacity. So but I thought it was worth mentioning, because I have been playing it recently again, and getting angry at the new metas and everything like that.
And the difference between a console and a mobile is when you get angry at the game, you can't throw your mobile because you're just throwing away your life.
Yeah.
You gotta go, gotta be careful with that.
So I've been playing this on an iPad, because it's far too dangerous to have it on my phone and anywhere near internet banking financial stuff. So so I've got it's very addictive one, and just all the different, obviously it's building off the movies where they fuse different dinosaur types to create new dinosaurs. They've really built off that and gone really wacky. Some of them are just insane looking. Interesting one. Definitely interesting one to include today.
Jurassic World Alive. That's for those out there who want a good Jurassic World game. Go check it out. Ludley, we're on to your next one. This is a huge one from this year, going from the small mobile, but incredibly addictive, to the huge, biggest console game on PS5 this year, I'd say. Possibly also addictive. Tell us about Helldivers 2, Ludley.
Oh, this game is really good. The thing about Helldivers is huge online player. But I saw this game and people saw oh, this is really good, and you can play co-op. You say co-op, for me it's cool, I'm in. So pretty much you're gonna play with three random person, and you're gonna have series of different kind of missions that you do. Depends on the level that you're fighting as well, and you need to play somehow cooperative. If everybody try to go rumble by themselves, it's not gonna work. Except on the small lower levels. Lower levels, you can do this, but ideally as higher as you get, you need to have some coordination. One thing that I noticed, I thought people would be talking much more in this game. I don't hear people talk you still can point things out on the game. So like you can open the map and say, hey guys, let's go here. And usually people follow. So say like if nobody place a pin in the map and it's like, hey, let's go here, you're gonna see a couple of people doing, you see some people trying to do things by themselves, but most of the people were like, cool, let's do this thing. There's a dynamic that you start getting as more as you play the game. There's things that you doesn't matter if you're gonna talk to people or not, you're not gonna do it. So like say you do a mission and pretty much you're gonna have like the main mission to do, a couple of things that you can find around to do during the mission that not gonna be pointing your map, and then you do the extraction. Okay, so as soon as you finish the mission, and say depends of the mission, can go to like 45 minutes, the time for the mission, right? Like and the thing is like you're a diver, so you're gonna be thrown from a ship, and you're gonna have the stratagems. That's gonna be, it's almost like a code that you're gonna use your commands in the control. You cannot just like, oh, I want to like a special attack. No, you need to point like up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right, until like you get the command and the stratagems happen.
Cool.
On the 45 minutes on your mission, the stratagem is going to be available for you to use. After 45 minutes, it's your ship's gone. They abandon you. You cannot use the stratagems. So you pretty much have to do your mission 45 minutes. It's hard to it's very rare that I play after 45 minutes to manage to do extraction. So say you go do your mission and then you go to extraction. Like it has some etiquettes on how to do. You just don't go there and call the ship to rescue. You wait the people, then you call, or you call, wait people coming, because as soon as the ships goes down and the first person gets in, there's only 20 seconds for everybody else getting the chip before the chip goes.
Oh.
No, so everybody needs to be there, because say you go around the mission and you get the reward for the missions,
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot just get by yourself, because if you don't have with you the samples, you lost. Like you did the mission, you won the mission, but you lost all the samples, and the samples can be a pain in the ass sometimes to get, So everybody needs to get the chips to all the collected samples, because say if you play with 4 people and everybody get 5 samples, when you get the chip, everybody gonna get 20. It's not split on the people that get theirs. Everybody gets 20. But say like you go and do the mission and one of the person that has 10 samples don't get in, everybody lost 10 samples. So it's
you're gonna lose friends pretty quickly if you don't play it well, eh?
Oh no. The thing is like one thing that I see is like most of the time that I play is just random people. But if people play well together, they keep going the same mission, like the same group. And I know that like sometimes you play 1, 2, 3 missions without people saying anything. And on the 4th mission, people like, if people's a little bit more shy, they start talking, But usually if somebody's don't play well in the first missions, most of the people are going to drop off. Like you finish your mission, because otherwise you're going to lose what you get there. But I noticed that as soon as you get in the ship, you get out. It's like, nah, I'm not playing with this guy. Like he doesn't play nice, or like there is friendly fire on this game, and you cannot choose not have to.
I love friendly fire.
It is
It'd drive you crazy. It would drive you crazy.
No, but it's good, because like you need to pay attention what you're doing. You cannot just like, oh, you know what, I'm gonna stratagem to kill everybody. You're gonna kill everybody.
Yeah.
Like you need to be careful, like you need to tell people like, hey, I'm trying this there, you don't, or like you don't throw way closer to people. So like, okay, I'm gonna, because there is a time depends on the strategy that is sent down. It's like you have 5 seconds, so people know like, oh cool, I cannot be closer to this thing. But if you drop right on top of the person, doesn't matter, 5 seconds is not enough for the person to run away, So be nice, play nice, and everything. Like if you play nice, you see that most people keep on that team for a while. It is a nice game. Sadly, Sony messed up with this game pretty bad because
I heard about
that was like a lot of people playing this thing, and suddenly Sony said like, "Oh, you need to sign in the PlayStation,"
that.
and people like, "Oh, you didn't say this before," and like, "Oh yeah, like you need to sign in," and like, cool, but this can't say like you live in, I don't know, I'll say random country here, say like say in Brazil we have PSN, but say they don't have there, you know. You cannot
Then you
sign
can't
in.
play.
So Sony like, oh yeah, see, you need to do it. And like, yeah, but how am I gonna do it if my country doesn't have? So they start blocking a lot of countries to buy now. Like if you have the game, you have it, but like you cannot buy the games that has PSN. And I noticed that you got a really big dip on players. You know, you used to go in the game and have like 200, 300,000 people. Nowadays, you're gonna play the game. Sometimes you're gonna have like 10,000, 10,000, 20,000. You know, that was like a big mess up on the Sony part. But the game's still fun. I still recommend it. It's really nice. I noticed now you're gonna see much more high level players comparing to before. Before you would have like a mix of everything. Now I think it's more people in high ranks that stick around. But it's fun because it's fun on all levels. Like you start level 1 and you're gonna play easy missions and everything. So you can have a lot of fun in this game. Still highly recommend it.
Nice. Yeah, definitely like an awesome game, particularly if you're a PS5 or PC gamer. Go pick it up. Like it's just, yeah, globally, it's one of the most popular games at the moment. All right. The next one we have on the list is one of mine. This is also an enormous game. I don't know if you guys are aware of the Persona series or not. I've finally got into the latest and greatest one, which is Persona 5 Royale. I waited for this to come to the Switch. I was one of those people who saw it release back on the PS3 and then come to PS4 and go, when is it coming to Switch? Because I want to play it on handheld. And it finally came out, and I'm finally there. And now in my alternative life, this is what I do. It's a fantastic game. I can't. I've played so many JRPGs. This is one that just sets a new bar. It really does. And when you look at it and you're like, what is going on? I don't really get it. Start playing it and you'll really get into it. So essentially, you play as a high school student. He's defending this girl from this guy who's trying to like harass this girl, but he gets in trouble because he like pushes her or something like that. And then he gets like ostracized for doing that. The good thing about this game is it's always like showing from the perspective of teenagers who are quite vulnerable and how they're fighting against like corruption in society and they're misunderstood. So essentially your character, Joker, bands together with a bunch of other students, and in its weird Japanese role-playing game way, what they do is they infiltrate the hearts of these villains or these people who are just like doing something really dodgy. And they steal the hearts of that person to cause a change of heart, which is the gameplay side of things, like when you're in a dungeon and you're fighting against monsters and all that kind of stuff. And then outside of that, you live like your regular life. Like you've got your friends, you can choose who you hang out with and what you do. Like you might go watch a movie, and it's really funny. Like it's not boring; it sounds mundane, but it'll show the movie, and it's like the X folders, not the X files, and it'll have like a bit of a sound clip in the background, nodding to the X files. You can go hang out with your friends. You can go on dates. You can go like pump iron if you want to. Like there's all this like really cool social side of stuff that is just really fun. And the game doesn't force you to do what you don't want to do. So it doesn't say, oh, you need to have this particular strong character in your party, or this is the activity you need to do. You're in control of your own time that way. The writing is superb. It's just like watching a really good TV series. And again, this is one that I'm playing in short bursts, and I have been for the last 2 months. I'm about 30 hours in. There's about 30 or 40 hours to go. A lot of fun. Just if you want a game that's just nice for winter to rug up, play on your Switch handheld, or play on your PlayStation, it's on Xbox, it's on PC, very highly recommended. Johnny, have you heard about the Persona series? Are you into it at all? Does this appeal to you at all?
Look, I live vicariously through you, Jono, in terms of Persona action. I like to follow your progress in getting through the Persona series.
Yeah.
And it looks like very colourful and vibrant. So it was very interested to hear that you'd gotten stuck into this entry.
Yeah, no, it's cool. How about you, Ludley? Are you into these games at all?
I like RPG, but never play Persona. I heard about this game all the time. Everybody says really.
Yeah,
I need to give a chance for this game. I actually need to find a time to play this game because
yeah,
it's everybody recommended. Everybody recommended. Like, and every time that a new Persona release is the big talk of the day, you know. So
yeah.
I need to play.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's again, it's one of those games that's on the backlog. It's set on my backlog. I literally bought the Switch version, got it here, had it there on my like desk for like a year and a half, and I finally got to it. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Now, I'm very well aware that we only have about 10 minutes left, and Ludley will have to go soon. So I might go back to you, Ludley, for your third and final game, which is
Yeah.
also a big one. This one is called Hades. I think Johnny might be a bit into this too because there's a bit of Greek mythology there. But Ludley, tell us about this game.
Oh, this game is like the premise is like you're the son of Hades and you want to escape Hades, you know? So it's a roguelike. You need to keep trying to progress. You start pretty much with nothing. And every time that you progress, you start from the beginning, but you start a little bit stronger. Sadly, I didn't finish this game yet. I think I'm the 30 run of the, and I still didn't manage to crack now. But it is nice. You have a couple of weapons, and like every time that you start a new run, they give like some bonus if you try new weapons. And I always try different weapons. Maybe that's why I'm not excellent in one, but it is fun. It is nice. And one thing that I noticed that every single dialogue is different. I don't like it's the third run, third death. I keep talking to characters in the game, and I don't remember ever hearing people repeating a phrase. And this is I heard. Yeah, no, they have like huge amount of dialogues just to not have repetitions and everything. It is nice. I still gonna beat this game. I need to beat this game this year.
Yeah, fair enough. That's the life of a gamer. Like, it takes time to play these games. I heard the story was really cool. Johnny, is this a game that you'd be into? I know you're not as big into the roguelites, but I know you're into the mythology aspect.
Yeah, no, it's been in my backlog, this one. For what I have, because I'm not not super great at the rogue like genre. So I have watched a few streams of Hades gameplay because I'm interested in how they've translated the ancient Greek pantheon into the story, and I think they've done it in an interesting way. But yeah, another one for my very lengthy backlog.
This is our backlog episode, People of Perth and Beyond. There's just too many games to play. All right, we'll move on to keeping on the theme of ancient civilizations. Is that a fair pick, Johnny?
Yeah, I think
what are we looking at here?
A good segue as any. So I recently made the mistake of re-downloading from my Steam library my copy of Civilization 5. So I love Civ 6, which we're seeing the footage of here, which is a great game.
Oh no!
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine because it's actually good because Civ 6 is kind of like the evolution of the previous entry 5, which they all are really. They always just reiterate on the previous entry. And Civ 6 is an amazing game, but I went in and saw my hours in Steam, and whereas I probably put in about 400 hours into Civ 6.
Oh my god.
I've put about 750 hours into 5. And so I fired it up for nostalgia's sake, mistakenly, so I could play. I wanted to play. Civ 5 has Byzantium, which is the Eastern Roman Empire, and I wanted to do a little campaign on which my favorite Civ map is the Mediterranean Basin. And I wanted to play a Byzantium campaign, but I made the very poor mistake of allowing Alexander the Great and Attila the Hun into my game, who are the
Why
two
did
most
you trust them, Johnny? Why did you trust them?
aggro civs you can have in a game, and they landed on either side of the map of me. So I've spent the whole. I just want to go and build my little buildings and fancy buildings, but keep having to buy military units to keep these two douchebags off my turf. So no, it's a real Civ is just really addictive. I love the series. And I do like there's some I sometimes wish that there were some features that were in 5. I kind of wish some of them had made their way through into 6. So for example, I kind of prefer the way that you engage with city states, which are the single, kind of like effectively like your NPC. They're not another civilization, but they're a single city, and that you interact with them and you try and influence them. And I like the way that it works in 5 compared to 6. And there's other little nitpicky things about 6 that I don't love that I kind of love in 5, and that's kind of documented through my play hours clearly. So yeah, no, it's another really addictive one that I tend to have to uninstall from my PC when I'm back at work, because it'll very easily suck up my time if I let it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understandable. And you've got to save a bit of time for Jurassic World Alive too. So I get
Yeah.
that balance of
No.
But look, people of Perth and beyond, we are actually out of time today. So that is 5 banger games that we are playing at the moment, like a bit of a mix. Civ sounds really cool.
And a bit of a correction, Jono, you were playing the Civ 5 footage. I just was bewildered for a second. I was probably still reeling from a broadside from Attila the Hun.
Bloody Attila the Hun, always doing that, hey. So thank you, people of Perth, for joining us again today. That's some 5 games to go check out on your menu. Also, go check out Chrono Trigger as well. Highly recommended, as you can hear. But that is all we have time for today. Lads, are there any final things you'd like to say? Anything from you, Ludley, before we wrap up?
No, not much. Look, I really like to join this podcast. It's like, it was pretty fun actually. My first time in a podcast at all. I was like, yeah, great time here.
Awesome. You did brilliantly. And you, Johnny, what's up from you?
I was just going to say thanks to Ludley for being our first guest of the year, and it was great to hear about what games you're playing. It was awesome. Thanks.
Pleasure is all mine.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining us, people of Perth and beyond. Go check out our website at perthgamingcrew.com, and you'll see us again in a couple of weeks. Have a great weekend. See you later. Bye.